guys, we are here for another track guide for Coach Dave Academy. This week we're at week 9, and for the VRS GT Sprint and Endurance Series we are at Brands Hatch, and we'll be driving the Porsche GT3R, and it will be a very tricky track guide. It's a very short track, but you need to be very precise in a lot of places, so let's get into it. Straight to the left, entering turn 1. Try to carry the speed. Brake just under the bridge here. Patient on the throttle out of the corner. Carry the exit speed. Try to set this corner up well for the exit. Very tricky there, very important to apex very late to carry that speed up the hill. Here we get to the corners where you need to have big guts. Be very close to the grass everywhere. Try to carry a lot of speed through these corners. Last corner's blind, very tricky. Get the last corner of the track. Throw the car in, and before you think you can do it, back on the power. Car will get grip, and that's the lap around open. So here we are at the lap analysis. We're coming up to turn 1. Turn 1 is one of the many blind corners around this track, so we'll play it out. And we can't really see the apex or anything yet. The thing that I use as a reference is the top of the hill. I brake about 10 to 15 meters before the top of the hill. And then from that point on, I try to shift down quite slowly and let the car roll into the corner. And then we'll eventually start seeing the apex here. So try to get the car to the left, and just a bit before this hill, I slam on the brakes. And then try to let the car roll into the apex. And then only from this point on we start seeing the apex. And then again, this is a feature that only happens pretty much on this track, where we go down and then suddenly up again in the same corner. And what that does, it compresses the car and gives us more grip than we expect. And what it allows us to do is at this point already we start going full throttle, and it will feel like the car is going to wash out. It will feel like we're going to end up in a gravel trap. But once we finally get to the bottom of the hill, the car suddenly gets grip and it will stick to the road. So we get to the bottom here and it suddenly sticks to the road, and we'll avoid the gravel while taking a lot of speed. And for turn 2, we want to again line the car up on the left, and we want to use the 50 marker for turn 2. It's exactly under the bridge where we start to slow down. Bring it to first gear, and then on this corner it's very important on the exit to be very patient on the throttle. If you go too fast on the throttle here in the Porsche, it wants to track wide. So we want to make sure that we're patient giving that throttle and not too fast going to full throttle here. So we want to be patient. And then on exit here is one of the first times we'll see this. There's a lot of Astro on this track. So if you go to the outside cam, this Astro here, we still want to use this. It looks almost like grass, but it's just as grippy as the track itself. So it's very crucial on this track to not just use the normal tarmac, but also the Astro everywhere around the track. So you want to be on the edge of this Astro, and you want to get off that before the actual grass starts. And then for turn 3 we have the same, and it's very tricky for this corner, because on the outside here, you can almost not see it, but the outside here is Astro as well. And it starts around here, so here's gas and here's Astro. And it's very tricky to get onto this Astro, but also crucial to get that last bit of time on the lap to use this Astro on the corner entry. So we want to come in here, start braking a bit, and get the car over on turn entry. We want to get this car over to get onto the Astro on the outside here. So you're almost a bit on the gas here, trying to get onto this Astro. And try to keep the rear of the car stable here by not braking too late and going in too fast. And then for corner exit there, we aim for this as well. And there's a big Astro patch on the outside here. Again, it starts only here, but we can start going onto that a bit early. We want to use as much of that as possible and then get off that when it ends again. So a lot of S on the outside here to use first, so we can track wide a bit. Then turn 4 is probably the trickiest corner on the track. We'll go back to the cockpit cam for that. There's a bit of S on entry here. Again, we want to use that. In this case, we want to use it to get the car a bit more straight into the corner already. So there's a bit of S on the outside here. We want to use that. And then instead of braking towards the inside, we want to follow almost the curb on the outside for this track, for this corner here. The reason for that is that we want to apex very late. And by apexing very late, we can carry more speed up the hill on the corner exit. So we want to brake around this curb on the outside here and stick around the outside into second gear. And then from this point on, we're going to start aiming. We're going to start aiming for this kink in the curb here. And that will be our apex. So very, very late on the apex. And if you try to hit this, there's a bit of elevation here as well, meaning that there's a bit more camber on the inside than there is in the middle of the track. So it's very important to hit this apex here and only start getting towards the inside curb at the kink here. And if you do that, you can see we can start going onto the power very, very early. And that allows us to carry a lot of speed up the hill here. And then we get to the back section of the track. It's a very fast sector. And this sector, we need to trust the downforce of the car. So we're running a lot of downforce on this track. And it's up to us to go into the corner very fast and trust that the car has enough downforce on the rear to be able to keep up with you. For this first right-hander, we're going to brake at the 50 marker and then let the car coast quite a while into the corner. And then because the rear has a lot of downforce, it will catch the car. It will start getting a bit light, but faster you go into the corner, the more light the rear will be. But because we're running so much downforce, it will be easy to catch the car. So coming into here, then letting the car roll into the corner. Get on throttle early, try to carry a lot of speed. Next corner here, we again want to use a 50 as a reference. We want to use a bit of S on the inside and a lot of S on the outside of the corner as well. So we want to use this bit of S on the inside here. Want to get over that as much as we can. And then on the corner exit, there's a lot of S as well. We want to use all of that as well. So we want to keep the speed up. I use all of this S on the outside until it's ending here. We want to be off just before it's ending. And then we get to the other corner on the track that I would say is the trickiest corner because there's no reference at all here. And we can't see the apex yet and we can barely see a point that we can use for the turn-in. So what I use for it as a turn-in is that if you look at the line here, it starts going down a bit and there's a bit of a hole in the middle here of the track. Meaning that it goes down a tiny bit here and then it starts going up again. And this bit here where it starts going up again is what I use as a reference to tap the brakes and get the car turned in for the apex. And again, you can't see the apex yet. So it's very, very tricky to find out where exactly that apex is. And it's crucial to hit that. And that's where you'll see the difference between the people that did maybe 10 minutes, 30 minutes of practice versus the people that did a couple hours of practice. And those people will be able to throw the car in consistently with confidence here that they'll hit the apex. So what I use again is this hole on the left side here. You can see it very slightly here to tap the brakes, get the car to turn in. And only at this point here, we see the apex on the inside. Again, if you look from the outside cam, we want to use this astroturf here on the inside. Use that as much as possible over that. And then if we carry a lot of speed, we're going to end up almost in the grass on the left side again on the exit. So we'll play that out. And you want to be as close to the grass here as possible as you can. But if you hit this grass here, you're going to be in trouble. Because it's going to be, if you can get back to the track, it's going to be very hard to set the car for the next corner. But it's also very hard to get the car on track and it's very easy to hit a wall on the outside there. So you want to be close to the gravel on the exit here without hitting that exit. And that will require you to know exactly where to turn in for that apex. Now for the next corner, it's tricky as well because we don't have much time to line the car up again on the right side of the track. Meaning that while we're lining the car up to the right, we need to try to get as close to that white line on the right as possible. But we already need to be looking at the next apex because we don't have much time for this corner here. So it's very tricky again on this side as well to not hit that grass on the right side. If you hit that grass on the right side, you'll be going straight and meeting with some tires on the outside. So very, very tricky to get the car to the right side here. close to the grass on the outside without getting onto that grass. Try to brake for the corner, hit the apex. Try to maximize your exit speed here again. You can use the curb a bit on the left. And then the last corner is tricky again because it will start going down and start going uphill again. And again, the compression, the same as turn 1, is when you hit that uphill, the car suddenly wants to turn much more through the corner. So you can go on throttle a lot earlier than you think. And the brake point for this is maybe 10 to 5 meters before that 50 on the left side. And try to make sure to not carry too much entry speed. Because if you carry too much entry speed, you'll not be able to go on throttle as fast as you want and not carry enough speed to the next straight. So make sure that you carry the right speed through the corner more than trying to enter the corner as fast as possible. So we brake it around to 50 and then again you can go on throttle really early, and by the time you hit this compression here on the bottom, the car will suddenly turn a lot. So you can get all the way to the left side here towards the grass. And then we only have the run to the line left. Qualifying, try to stick as much to the left as you can to get that last 1 or 2 hundredths. And the race, start bringing the car up to the left again so that you can set up turn 1 again properly. And that's a short track guide around Brands Hatch and the GT3R. Right, so that was the track guide for Coach Dave Academy around Brands Hatch and the Porsche GT3R. Good luck with your practice and your races next week, and for more track guides, make sure to follow Coach Dave Academy here on YouTube.